Good people, good Monday evening to each and every one of you again, wherever you are. We are live from Brooklyn, New York. On tonight's podcast presentation, I want to talk to you from the subject entitled, Don't Rush Your Healing. Don't rush your healing. The reality of the matter is, too many of us in this accelerated society are not taking the proper time to heal. We are accelerating our healing. I want to encourage your heart and mind tonight to not rush your healing. So come on in, relax, and let us reason together yet again. Sister Candace, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us again. Brother Barron, good evening to you, sir. Thanks for joining us. Currently here in Brooklyn, it is 48 degrees, and the wind chill factor is 49. As always, I am honored and delighted that you would make Yosef's 2 cents, the Yosef X Chronoscope, a part of your Monday evening routine. And I'm going to wait for a few moments and allow for you to come on in and join us. We are multi-streaming tonight on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm hoping that we will be able to share with you some words of inspiration and words of encouragement. Let's see who else has just joined us here. I believe Sister Kimberly has just arrived. Thanks for the reaction. The lovely Marla, good evening to you too, my dear. Thank you for joining us. That's what I want to share with you tonight. Don't rush your healing. I had some time to think about this particular topic before I attempt to share with you and deliver it to you about how I wanted to attempt how I wanted to share it with you. And let's see. I see. I thought I saw my homegirl Precious. If you're there, Sister Precious, good evening to you as well. Oh, okay. All right. I thought that was you. What's good? Thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started. Please forgive me. Please, ma'am, please, sir, forgive me for my tardiness. But I had a family emergency that called my immediate attention. So if I have to abruptly call the podcast an early evening, please understand that that is why. I'm not going to get into any specifics as to what's going on, but I will ask for those of you that are genuine believers that you would keep my family and I in your thoughts and in your prayer. Just keep us in your thoughts and in your prayers. All right. Once again, the subject is don't rush your healing. And I want to use for a passage of scripture that is found in the Old Testament according to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to read selected verses. And I'm going to be reading the first verse to start off. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill." But listen to this next part of the verse. "And a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up." But if you have your highlighter, highlight the verse where it says a time to heal. And the next verse, in the 4th verse, it says a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to heal, okay, and a time to mourn and a time to weep, time to laugh. Okay? Don't rush your healing. Don't rush your healing. The reason why I wanted to share this topic with you, ladies and gentlemen, is really because so many of you are going through a very, very dark hour. We're going through a very dark hour, especially with everything going on, especially with this whole pandemic, this whole pandemic that's going on, this sickness that's going on, and family members passing away as a result of the coronavirus. The black horse of death is riding through our ranks on top of this national shutdown, this national restriction. And it is apparent to me that we are losing family, we are losing friends, we are losing loved ones at a more accelerated pace than ever before. Sometimes we are losing wives, sometimes we are losing husbands, and sometimes we're even losing children amongst the loved ones that we are losing. And the reality is we have failed to properly give ourselves time to grieve, to mourn the loss of our loved ones. Brother Mike and Sister Marjorie, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sister Candace, I do appreciate the prayers lifted up for my family and I. The reality is we have become so desensitized when it comes down to proper healing from the loss of our loved ones. We have become so desensitized until we feel that when we shed tears or when we find somebody else shedding tears, we find that to be a sign of weakness. We fail to realize that when we shed tears, it is actually, a cleansing of the soul. To shed tears is not a sign of weakness. To shed tears, it is a sign of strength. It is a sign of cleansing. Too many people in the world, because they have lost loved ones, I find them to use other people as emotional crutches. They're using them as emotional bags. But instead of really looking at the reality of what's going on, and they are not taking the time to properly heal, because remember, the scripture just taught us that there is a season, a time to grieve, a time to weep, a time to heal. Brother Wisdom, Daniel P., and Brother Leon, gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on tonight. Too many people, too many sons and daughters of the Most High, we are not giving ourselves the proper time to adequately grieve. I'm not saying grieve yourself to death, but I'm saying give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to bounce back from the setback of losing a loved one. Granted, there are a lot of relationships that is not ordained of the Most High, because that man and that woman is full of lust and not love. But allow me to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, another paradigm, if you will. A lot of relationships could be ordained of the Most High, but the problem is that man and that woman is broken. You have a lot of people that's hurting, that's grieving. They're not giving themselves time to grieve. They're not giving themselves time to heal, because we live in such an accelerated society. Society says you got to move on. Bills have to be paid. Mortgages have to be paid. Utility bills have to be paid. Water bills have to be paid. But what happened to grieving properly? Whatever happened to the art of healing properly? And see, you can't get over the death of a loved one overnight. And certainly it's not going to take you a few months to overcome the death. It takes time. Too many people, too many men and women are grieving themselves to death because they are accelerating the process of healing. I stopped by to tell you, you got to stop rushing your healing. Please stop. Because you are doing more harm than good. The text just read that there is a season, there's a time for everything. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose. There's a time or a season to mourn, and a season to heal, and a time to break down, and a time to weep, and a time to laugh. But unfortunately, we are not taking the time to heal. And one of the biggest problems is that the reality is that That's one of the reasons why there's so much mental illness going on. That's one of the reasons why there is so much emotional disorders going on. People are not giving themselves the season, the appointed time, the appointed moment to heal. 3 days is not enough to mourn. 3 hours is not enough to mourn. You need a season. You need time to heal. A lot of relationships right now was not built on the foundation of love and respect and trust. It was built on that person being an emotional crutch. How do you know this, Yosef? I've been there. I have been in the situation where I did not give myself time to heal from the loss of my first wife, not initially. Let me give you a backstory about me. My wife died 23 days before my birthday and before her birthday, because my first wife and I, we shared the same birthday. My wife died 23 days before our birthday. She died July the 7th, 2013. Our birthday is August 3rd. That very same day when she passed, I had plans to take my wife out to eat, just to give her a little pre-happy birthday celebration. I wanted to surprise my wife. I had some extra money, and I wanted to surprise my wife. But unfortunately, folks, the surprise fell on me. And I had plans. I had it all planned out. We were going to go to church that Sunday. And when we got out of church, I was going to take her to a nice restaurant. And we were going to celebrate early our birthday. But instead of me celebrating my birthday, and instead of me celebrating my wife's birthday, instead of us celebrating our birthday, I had to prepare to bury my wife. And a good friend of mine, he wound up taking me out to eat. And he took me to the very same restaurant that I was going to take my wife. He sure did. I wanted to surprise my wife, but the surprise fell on me. And initially, when she died, I didn't take her death well. As a matter of fact, I got my wake-up call when I suffered a nervous breakdown behind her death. Don't rush your healing. Don't rush your healing. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you firsthand. Don't rush your healing. One of the mistakes that I made was the same day that my wife died. Not only did I eat alone in terms of not having my wife, and my friend took me to the same restaurant that I was going to take my wife, but I met my girlfriend the same day. Same day my wife passed away, I met my girlfriend. And my ex-girlfriend, she had a niece that was in the same ICU, that same ICU unit. She was 3 rooms down from my wife. My wife passed away that Sunday afternoon. Her niece passed away. My ex-girlfriend's niece passed away that Tuesday. And if memory serves me correctly, her niece passed away of either a stroke or the same thing my wife passed away from, a brain aneurysm. Pain, heartbreaking pain, anguish. It will mess you up. And trying to get over my wife's death quickly instead of letting it come to me naturally, I got into a relationship too quick. Thing with me is, I met my ex-girlfriend, right? The same day my wife passed away. 2 weeks later, that same woman that I met, I'm intimate with her. And we were in a relationship for 2 months. Don't rush your healing. It's a dangerous thing to rush your healing. We were using each other as emotional baggage. We were using each other as emotional crutches, excuse me. That's why it's so easy for me to encourage you tonight. Don't rush your healing. Don't do it. You need to give yourself more time to heal than just a few months. When the Most High finally got me to a place where he had my undivided attention for the next 7 years, it took me 7 long years to get to where I am tonight. You may have lost a husband in death or divorce. You may have lost a wife in death or divorce. Once again, don't rush your healing. Don't do it. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to heal properly. You understand? You have to take time out for you. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to do this for you. Does it hurt? Yes. Is the pain unbearable? Yes. Is the pain ignominious? Yes. But if you don't learn how to handle it properly, you'll suffer a nervous breakdown like I did. At one point, my mind was gone. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know which way to turn. Let me tell you how far gone I was. I was so far gone that I just abruptly just up and quit my job. I had no backup plan. I had no money saved up. I had nothing. That's how far gone I was. I was so far gone, I didn't know which way was up. At one point, all I did was sleep. And if I wasn't sleeping, I was going to work. And see, another problem, another mistake that I was making was I was studying the Bible, but I wasn't studying the Bible to make myself a better man. What I was doing, I was using the Bible as an escape mechanism. I didn't want to face the pain. I didn't want to face the anguish. Until I was forced to. And during that time, during those 7 years, at one point I was homeless. I slept in a church building. I slept in a homeless shelter. Shoot, it got so bad. I hit rock bottom so bad that I slept in a trap house just so I wouldn't freeze to death. I slept in a trap house for 3 days. I sure did. I slept in a trap house for 3 days. J. Cole, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. For those of y'all that are just joining us, welcome to Yosef's 2 Cents, the Yosef X Chronoscope. I'm your man, Yosef Benjamin. And tonight, I'm just sharing with you, don't rush your healing. And I'm sharing with you a personal story about me, about what I've been through in 7 years' time. In and out of hotels. Spent the night in an all-night restaurant. Slept in a trap house so I wouldn't freeze to death. Suffered a nervous breakdown. Sleeping wherever I could. I was gone. I was gone. I was in the Salvation Army for 10 months before I got my apartment. See? I used to be ashamed to tell stories about me, the darker side of my life. Now, not so much now. Because I want to use my dark moments in life to encourage you so you don't make the same bonehead mistakes that I made. See, you're not getting the foul mouth, trash talking, educated Yosef Benjamin. Oh no, not tonight. You're getting the man, Yosef Benjamin. That's who is talking to you tonight. Not the educator, not the scholar, not the minister. You're talking to the man. The man is talking to you tonight. See? And some of you that are in relationships now, guess what? You're not ready to be in relationships. You're not ready to be in relationships. You're still broken. You're still hurting. You're still hurt. You're still in pain. You're still in anguish. You're still hurting. You're still in despair. And your relationships is not built on love and trust. It's built on being an emotional crutch for the other. Don't rush your healing. Stop. Don't rush your healing. Don't rush your healing. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need it. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need it. You need to take your time. Take your time and heal properly. If you have to go to a psychiatrist, if you have to go to a counselor, go. Because suffering from anxiety and depression and you're not getting treated for it, that is self-sabotage, ladies and gentlemen. It's self-sabotage. And because it is self-sabotage, ladies and gentlemen, the reality of the matter is that you will never, ever overcome the pain and the anguish until you confront it firsthand. That's what you have to do. You have to learn to do this for you. Eric, what's going on, man? I see the reaction. Thank you. Some relationships, now whether the relationship is official and is committed, or you're probably are in the process right now of building a relationship, either or. These relationships could be ordained of the Most High, but they're not, because the man and the woman is not finished healing. You're not finished. You use the Bible as an escape instead of helping you to become a better man and a better woman. We use social media, we use different things to combat the anguish and the hurt because we're too afraid to confront the pain and the anguish. And like Brother Michael just said, some of us are still in need of healing and you don't know it. He's spot on. He's right. Some people are in need of healing and they don't know it. Brother Mike is also spot on when he says taking your time to heal is very important, because hurt people hurt people. See? I know this ain't, the kind of message that you want to hear tonight, but this is a message you need to hear. Because a lot of you are killing yourselves and you don't know it. A lot of you are killing yourselves. You're destroying yourselves and you don't know it. And because you are destroying yourself, it's self-sabotage, right? You're killing yourself. You are shortening your days. You are. You are shortening your days. That's why I encourage all of you, don't rush getting into a relationship. You better take your time. It's bad enough you in a relationship and the Most High didn't even ordain it. It's either because of lust or because you're using that person, or the man and the woman is using each other as emotional crutches. Hear me good. Hear me good. I see the same mistakes that some of y'all are making, I made. And I'm going to tell you something else too. You're killing yourselves. You're sabotaging yourselves. When self-sabotage is not the answer, it ain't the answer. It's not. It's not the answer. That's why I'm encouraging you here tonight, in all truth and in all sincerity, you got to heal yourself. Now listen, the Most High wants to heal you, but you got to do your part and heal yourself too. Too many people are guilty of self-sabotage. It says right here in this book, it says right here, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. When are you going to take time to heal? When are you really going to take yourself some me time? And I ain't just talking about no 45 minutes to an hour of me time. I'm talking about time, as in seasonal time, appointed time to heal. Heal your mind, heal your heart, heal your emotions. When are you going to do that? When are you going to stop destroying yourselves and say within yourself, I need time to heal? When are you going to take time to really focus on the Most High and focus on yourself and give yourself time to heal? And when you heal, don't give yourself a time limit. Because when you give yourself a time limit, that's not healing properly. Got to give yourself time to heal. To heal properly, you cannot afford to give yourself a time limit, because time itself has no beginning or end. Time itself is the time of eternity. So take time for you. I'll say again, it took me 7+ years to get to where I am tonight. And Sister Marjorie, she's absolutely right. We can't keep burying the pain. Healing is so important. That was my problem. I was burying my pain of losing my wife. And on top of that, it also gave me some time to properly grieve for my father too. It took a long time for me to finally accept they were gone. That's why people don't like to talk to people, because people are so desensitized. Because all they'll do is encourage accelerated healing. But I got news for you, and you can quote me on this. Accelerated healing is unhealthy healing. I say again, accelerated healing is unhealthy healing. Stop rushing with your healing. I see you, Chi-Chi. Thanks for joining us. Don't rush healing. Otherwise, you'll go you will go through the same agony that I went through. If you buried the pain and the hurt and the anguish and the despair, you'll wind up suffering a nervous breakdown just like I did. I say this too. It's bad enough to lose a spouse in death. What about losing a spouse in divorce? You need time to heal from that too. I say again, a lot of these relationships, they are not ordained of the Most High. They could be, but the reason why they are not is because they're not built on a solid foundation. And the foundation that is not built on respect for the Most High, respect for self, respect for that man or that woman. It's built on lust and being an emotional crutch. Being promiscuous after coming out of a relationship, that doesn't help. And it's only by the grace and mercy of the Most High I didn't catch an STD. I didn't contract an STD, nor did I get any of these women pregnant. Had a 2-month relationship with a girlfriend, then turn right around and have a 1-night stand. That was pain that I was trying to escape from. I tell you, the Most High take care of babies and fools. I wasn't a baby. I was a fool in pain. I admit my mistake. I'm not proud of it, but I own up to it. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And thank the Most High, it didn't cost me. See? Clifford, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it, Sister Marjorie, for the hugs. Do appreciate it. Brother Michael says, I agree. I received bad advice when my father died from people who didn't have a relationship with their father. That's not good. That's not good at all. See, people talk about what they would do if they were in your position. But the reality of the matter is they don't know what they would do. You got so many broken people walking the face of the earth right now. They're on the verge of suicide. They're on the suicide watch right now in some psych ward. Pain, agony, despair. And I'll say once again, I've been where you all are. I've been there. Listen, all this gray that I have in my beard, it ain't from wisdom alone. It's from stress. It's from worryation, almost grieving myself to death and trying to escape the pain. But because the Most High delivered me out of it, I'm able to share with you my personal testimony. I'm certainly not where I want to be, but I'm grateful that I'm not where I was. See? Give yourself time to grieve. See, one thing I've learned about death is that I don't think you'll really get over death, the loss of a loved one. I don't think you'll really get over it. I do think that you will learn to live with it much better than then you're living with it now. But you got to give yourself time. It takes time. It takes meditation. It takes focus. It takes discipline. It takes all of that and more. See? And besides, you owe it to yourself. It takes discipline. It takes focus. You see? But you see, the longer you continue on, the longer you continue on holding on to the pain, excuse me, folks, holding on to the pain and holding on to the anguish, you're killing yourself. You are literally killing yourself, and you're killing yourself very slowly. It is a slow suicide. Guess what? I've been suicidal too. I've been there. I've been there. I've been suicidal. Guess what? Think the Most High didn't go through with it. I'm here talking to you, sharing with you my struggles, my fights, my battles, my wars, so that you'll be strengthened. Yeah, I've been suicidal. Haven't had a suicidal thought in years. Sure have. Haven't had no suicidal thoughts in years. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a man that knows pain, that knows anguish. I know what it's like to lose. I know what it's like to lose. But I also know what it's like to come back. And in this season, as bad as things are, I'm still in the middle of coming back. The Most High is still keeping me. As a matter of fact, let me put this video on public. I want to put it on public. Like the video, share the video, tag your family and your friends. And listen, folks, it's all right to be in pain. It's all right not to be all right, as long as you overcome the hurt and the pain and you do it for you. See? That's what you do. That is what you do. You got to do it for yourself. See? That is what you have to do. You have to do it for yourself. See? How much time I got left? What time is it? All right, it's 8:32. All right. I got a few more minutes. I'm gonna see if I can hook up this hotline right quick. That's what I'm gonna see for the next few moments that we have together here. I'm gonna see if I can hook up the Let me see if I can do it like this. I'm gonna see if I can hook up this this hotline. Now, if you want to call in, feel free to do so. See? But the reality is, folks, you're killing yourselves all because society says you got to rush and accelerate your healing. No, you don't. See, in the season of healing, see, it took me 7 years. And then I still find myself still healing. Yeah. Yeah. But in the process of healing, right? The reality of the matter is this. You'll discover some things about yourself that you never knew. When your mind is really clear and you really begin to think about all the things that the Most High has carried you through and you brought yourself out of, you'll begin to really think, I really didn't think I was this strong. I amazed myself. Yeah, I amaze myself. I didn't know that I could withstand all that pain and all that anguish. I didn't know it. I didn't know. It's been said before that trials and tribulations, they don't always come because it's a divine punishment. No. They come sometimes to make you strong, to build your character, to test your character, to test your faith. Because talk is cheap. But when you find out what kind of a man or what kind of a woman you really are, because of trials and tribulations, right? Then you begin to really see, hey, it all makes sense now. See? It all makes sense. Yeah, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And I'll tell you something else too. The reality is sometimes, and I had an old preacher to tell me this too. He said, son, the problem is you know too much and you believe too little. And after everything that you have gone through, it should give you a closer walk. It's a closer walk. It should be a closer walk with the Most High. Said should be. And he's right. Like the video, share the video, tag your family, and your friends and let them know that I am on the air. And please, ma'am, please, sir, donate to the cause. My Cash App ID is $Hidden One Truth. Let me read your observations. It says, what helps is knowing that they're at peace and you'll see them again. I concur. She continues, does Marjorie, your sharing will definitely help others. That's the plan. I want the Most High glorified, and I want to be able to help others too. Ms. Marla says, generally, it should be pointed out that healing a broken heart is considered to be an individual process. Indeed, it is. Moreover, one is to keep in mind that the so-called process of recovering depends upon a person's individual approach toward the problem he or she experiences. Yeah. That is true. But everybody don't have the wherewithal, unfortunately, to overcome their setbacks. You're exactly right. I'm not saying you're not. But what I am saying is, unfortunately, everybody does not look at it that way. They should. I wish more people did, But that's why I'm hoping tonight that for those of you that are listening and have been listening tonight, my prayer for you is you will overcome. See? Unfortunately, my hotline is not working, but what I will do, if you want to call, you may feel free to call by way of Messenger. Sister Ward, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Y'all feel free, if you want to, if you have some thoughts or you have some opinions, feel free to use Messenger. Messenger is open. I try to get my hotline up, but I couldn't do it. So, but I want to take this time to all of you that's listening and has been listening. I want to thank you all for listening and your input, your observations, and if I'm gonna leave the opportunity to call in by way of Messenger open for the next few moments, and then after that, we are getting ready now to wrap things up. I felt compelled to share this message with you tonight because too many people, too many men, too many women, too many sons and daughters of the Most High are really going through it in one way or another. And I think the biggest, or amongst the biggest problem that we have right now is we're losing our loved ones at a higher and accelerated pace than ever before. And I wanted to really just encourage you and say, look, don't rush your healing. Take your time and heal properly. Don't put a time limit on it. But at the same time, don't grieve yourself to death and don't grieve your life away. See? If nobody wants to call, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for for the evening. Listen, my brothers and sisters, don't think for a moment that I'm saying that is easier said than done, or it's easy to just confront the pain. It's not. I'm not saying it's easy. Believe me, it's not easy. It's never easy. It's never easy at all. But you have to make the choice to better yourself as a man and as a woman. Thank you, Naughty. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. You have to want to heal. You can't escape the pain, the loss. You can't do that. And see, let me share this with you too. Okay. I jotted down some notes to strengthen my my argument here tonight. And I also wanted to quote a reference, a commentary in the scriptures to better aid and assist us. Focus on Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse number 1. I read verses 1 through 4, but I want you to focus on verse number 1. It says, from the New International Version, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. Now, let me throw this out here. You're asking the question, does this describe a life that is balanced? Does this describe, a balanced life? It's not necessarily teaching that life is full of balance. Life is an uneven journey. You understand? In this passage of scripture where it says there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven, it's not talking about the balance of life. It's talking about how life is. It's sharing with us the realities of life. It's teaching what life is, not what life should be. And the following verses after verse 1 is giving a description about life more so than an advice. It's coming from a realist standpoint. You understand? Now, if you're not careful, you could misread or misinterpret what the passages are saying. It sounds like he's pessimistic. No, he is not. He's not pessimistic. No, he's a realist. You understand? And because the writer is a realist, he's not one that focuses or zero ins on wishful thinking. He tells it like it is. And some people that are still brainwashed and hoodwinked and bamboozled, they're operating off of wishful thinking. Whereas those of us who are quote unquote woke, we zero in more so on that which is realistic. You understand? So that passage of scripture is not talking about how life is, or rather how life should be. It's talking about how life is, how to be more realistic when it comes to life. You understand? So I say this, Don't rush your healing. Don't rush healing. When you when you rush your healing, when you accelerate your healing, that's not healthy. That's self-sabotage. And that in itself is a slow suicide. I shared with you a part of my testimony so that you could be strengthened and enlightened. I didn't share this with you so you all could throw a pity party for me. Don't you dare. If you throw a pity party for me, that's the ultimate insult for me. Don't pity me. Be inspired by me. You understand? That's what I want you to do. I want you to be inspired. That's what I want. I want you inspired. Excuse me. I want you inspired. Don't throw no pity party for me. Don't want it. I want you inspired. I don't want you to pity me. I want you inspired. I want you uplifted. I want you encouraged. I want you inspired. That's what I want. Learn from my pain. Learn from my burdens. Learn from my bonehead mistakes. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. And don't rush into these relationships. And I'll throw this out here too. A lot of your relationships and your marriages, you know, it's not good because you're afraid of being lonely. You are afraid of being lonely. But in order for you to have an effective relationship or marriage that will eventually lead up to marriage, right? In order for that to happen, you must first learn to be comfortable being alone. You must first learn to be happy being alone. Excuse me. You have to learn to accept being alone. You have to enjoy your own company first. You have to learn to enjoy your own company first. You have to enjoy being alone. Let me start at the top. You have to learn to value and appreciate the presence of the Most High and yourself. That's what you do. And once you grow and you mature to the level where you enjoy and you value and you appreciate being in the presence of the Most High and being in your own presence and appreciating your own presence, then you'll be able to say, I want to be in a relationship because I want to instead, and it'll be by choice instead of desperation. See, a lot of y'all are living lives of quiet desperation. You're using that man and you're using that woman as an emotional crutch. You still broken and you don't even realize it. And I tell you this too, the Most High is not going to allow for his sons and his daughters to get involved in relationships until they are ready. I'm trying to help y'all out. Give yourself time to heal from any and all losses of loved ones, whether it's death, whether it's in divorce, whatever. Give yourself time to heal properly. That's what you need. Time to heal properly. And don't put a time limit on your healing. Don't do that to yourself. Give yourself time to heal properly. Don't put a time limit on healing. Don't rush healing. Don't put a time limit on it. Because if you do, that is self-sabotage. All right? Now, my appeal to you, and I got a new verse for you too. Second Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves, I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. Isaiah 45:22 is, look unto me and be ye saved, saith the Most High. A new verse that I want to share with you tonight when it comes down to repentance and getting to know the Most High is Romans chapter 10. Let me read that. Romans chapter 10 and verse 9. Romans chapter 10 and verse 9. It says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus or Yeshua, and shalt believe in thine heart that the Most High hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Okay. That's repentance of getting to know the Most High. See? Now, knowledge of self. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Most High formed man from the dust of the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. Psalm 82:6 says, ye are gods. Ye are children of the Most High God. Psalm 139, verse 14, the A part, I believe, says, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. The psalmist was giving a personal testimony of himself, but it applies to you. And then 1 Peter 2:9 says that you are an holy nation, a royal priesthood, a peculiar people. That's knowledge of self. And then when it comes down to being set apart, 2 Corinthians 6:17 says, come ye out from among them and be ye separate. Come ye out from among them and be ye separate. It's all right, Sister Candace. You're just gonna have to watch the replay because we getting ready to wrap it up. But remember, don't rush your healing. Take your time and stop using other people as emotional crutches. That's a turnoff. Give yourself time to heal. Relax. If it's meant to be, you and that man and that or that woman will get together. If not, the Most High got somebody else better for you. Stop using these relationships as emotional crutches. Get yourself together. That's what you do. Now, with that said, I rest my case. Well, folks, that'll do it. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for listening to me. Let's get these shares up. Let's get these shares up, and let's get these donations up too. See? Let's do that. I know you appreciate my content, you appreciate listening and watching and all that stuff. So let's get them shares up. And let's get these funds up too. See? But I want to thank y'all for listening. I hope that you all are inspired and encouraged. Give yourself time to heal. Don't rush it, all right? I'm Yosef Benjamin. That's just my little 2 cents. This concludes the Chronoscope. Until we meet again, stay strong, keep the faith, and give yourself time to heal. Until we meet again, may the Most High be with you. Have a good one. Top of the evening to you. I'm out.